I'm Charles Bankhead of MedPage Today, reporting from the Society of Gynecologic Oncology meeting in Orlando. The newest member of the PARP inhibitor class of targeted therapy, known as MK4827, showed safety and encouraging preliminary activity in a first-in-human study involving patients with advanced solid malignancies. Dr. Robert Wenham of Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa, Florida, discussed the study following his presentation at SGO.
Well, this was a phase 1 trial. It's a first-in-human trial. Part of the partial results from the dose escalation and confirmation scheme have been presented before at ASCO. That has been completed with 60 total treated patients now in phase 1A. The MTDs confirmed at 300 milligrams, and this data added an additional 20 patients that were in the phase 1B platinum-resistant acute to that. So we had a total of 80 patients between both arms. We had 47 of those patients that were ovarian or peritoneal cancers, and we put the combined data from that and looked at preliminary results on efficacy as well as defining what the toxicities were. Overall, it was a fairly well-tolerated drug. The maximum tolerated dose is 300 milligrams. There were DLTs seen in the phase 1 portion at 400 milligrams, 2 of those being the thrombocytopenia, which is its dose-limiting toxicity.
Though only a phase 1 study, the trial showed preliminary evidence of activity in the subgroup of patients with ovarian and primary peritoneal cancer.
When we did preliminary efficacy looking at just the ovarian and peritoneal cancers, of which there were 47, we saw a clinical benefit that we defined as stable disease for 12 weeks, along with partial responses that seemed to go along with BRCA mutation status somewhat. The highest partial responses were 37% in our BRCA positive group. We also had a sporadic population of unknown BRCA, which is really one that was kind of high-grade serous for the most part, so probably enriched for patients that had potential homologous recombination repair deficiencies. And in that population, we saw another around 20% or so partial responses. Clinical benefit overall for those that were BRCA unknown was 47%, defined as I had before, for the BRCA unknown, and for the BRCA positive was 58%. Now this is all very preliminary. It's a phase 1 setting. There's multiple dose levels. Some treatment was ongoing for patients, so that remains to be exactly defined. But this was just preliminary information.
Investigators have already begun looking ahead to future evaluations of MK4827.
There's already some moving forward and trying to combine this now with chemotherapy. So there's 1B studies in solid tumors looking at combinations of carboplatin and Taxol, carboplatin and pegylated liposomal doxorubicin. There's a 1B in high-grade serous looking at the combination pegylated liposomal doxorubicin and MK4827. I think what we're gonna find is, how does the toxicity evolve when it's combined with chemotherapy, and is that going to be acceptable given the likelihood of thrombocytopenia and the possibilities with platinum-induced thrombocytopenic agents of the tolerability, and then we're going to have to start looking at efficacy.
From the Society of Gynecologic Oncology meeting in Orlando, I'm Charles Bankhead, MedPage Today.